Navajo Nation Council, Madam Chief Justice Joanne Jane, as well as chapter, county, state, and federal leaders, and most importantly, our Diné citizens. Yat kudosh dech shi in shlido tkatnesa ne ibashchi tkudich ini da shchiro tkachini da shnala so kudo shigato dasutagi shna Vice President Lizer ishido nihich hat zito let. So on behalf of the Nez Lizer administration, we are pleased to present to you the State of the Navajo Nation address for the 2021 Spring Council session. Before we begin, we want to take a moment to honor and remember our brother, our colleague, and our honorable leader, Nelson Espiguet. Over the years, we all looked up to him for his wisdom and guidance on many issues. He always greeted everyone with a handshake, a warm smile, and his great sense of humor. The Navajo people and all of us as leaders today, we're blessed to have such a great person and a great leader serve alongside us for many years. We offer our condolences and our prayers for his wife, Linda, his children and grandchildren, his community, and to all of the members of the 24th Navajo Nation Council. In early February, we also lost our brother and former Navajo Nation President, Albert Hale. Many of us knew him as Abihe. He always greeted us all with a big hug and a big smile on his face. Throughout his lifetime, he demonstrated his love and compassion for our people through his service and all of his great contributions as president of the Navajo Nation and as a member of the Arizona Senate and House of Representatives. We honor and remember him, and we continue to pray for his wife, children, and everyone who had the honor of knowing him. And we wanted to give you an overview. The copy of the State of the Nation address has been sent to you all. First of all, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you, 24th Navajo Nation Council, for the quick action during this pandemic. Vice President and I and cabinet members and many of our staff have been out in the communities. Matter of fact, we visited all 110 chapters, and we are on our second round of chapters, and many of you have been on the front lines throughout this pandemic, including our chapter officials. And we want to extend our appreciation for your work and in working together to combat this virus called COVID-19. As we all know, the American Rescue Plan Act is forthcoming. Those funding that are to help with pushing back on this pandemic. More of those dollars will be utilized for water, electricity, and also for the needs of our Navajo people. There's a lot of lessons learned here, we all know, because of the CARES Act. The CARES Act, there was a deadline, we made commitments, and next thing you know, we received word that the deadline was extended. But we did make some commitments, so we stood with those commitments. And there are some lessons learned that we want to forward to our federal representatives. And one, we have had meetings with Secretary of the Interior, Deb Haaland. We have had meetings with Secretary of the U.S. Department of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, and we have forwarded to them the infrastructure white paper, meaning that there is just much federal laws and regulations that hinder quick infrastructure development in Indian country. So this white paper not just only helps streamline the process here on the Navajo Nation, but it also should help all 574 tribes throughout the country. And these, the information that's in the white paper is requesting a serious reevaluation of federal policy and law there in Washington, D.C., either be it internal federal agency policy changes or even law changes before Congress. We have been working diligently with the White House in this new administration. We once again congratulate President Biden, Vice President Harris, and as you all know, we will be visited this Thursday and Friday. The First Lady of the United States of America will be here, Dr. Jill Biden, visiting schools, visiting healthcare facilities. We'll also be meeting with the First and Second Lady's office, First and Second Lady, to discuss the needs of, families and many of the things, the items that they have been working on. And we also appreciate the acceptance of Delegate Amber Crotty for being a part of that roundtable discussion that is to occur with the First Lady. We have been discussing a lot of items with the White House, and we appreciate the resources that have been sent our way to push back on the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of the items that are in the State of the Nation address have been forwarded over to the White House as well. So many of the items have been discussed and have been forwarded over to our congressional delegation as well. And here on the Navajo Nation, as you know, one of the pressing items is the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, the reevaluation of those amendments to include post-71 mine workers, downwinders. Appreciate the leadership of the Amber Crotty as well as the uranium work group. That in turn deals with the Northeast Church Rock abandoned mine site. And we are wanting what uranium waste is taken from the Navajo Nation to be sent elsewhere, not just miles away to another site, but many miles away. And we are addressing those items. If you want a little bit more information, it's within the State of the Navajo Nation address. In terms of the Permanent Trust Fund 5-year plan, appreciate Chairman Jamie Henio for introducing that legislation. There, we are looking at the next 5-year plan to help with the budget shortfall from the closure of the Navajo Generating Station and the Peabody Mine. Over $30 to $50 million will not be coming in because of those closures. But we have an opportunity, at least for the next 5 years, to utilize the Permanent Trust Fund interest to cover that deficit, and so that we can bring in new monies into the Navajo Nation to offset that shortfall. And that way the level of government services will continue at that same level. And we appreciate the work that they are doing. And back to COVID, many of the folks out there have recognized that we have had a high percentage of vaccination. 87% of what we receive have gone into the arms of our Navajo citizens. And to this day, council delegates and everyone that's watching, 93,813 of our Navajo citizens have been fully vaccinated, both doses and also the single shot of Johnson & Johnson. I know we put a pause on Johnson & Johnson, and we will be hearing from CDC on that shortly to start again. But there's no adverse reaction here on regarding the Johnson & Johnson, so we thank God for that. So I'm going to turn the time over to our Vice President to finish off the remaining time. And I just want to again say thank you. Kodo Shanat An Linigi do Anet da Isnots Agido Qua Di Hanet Hijak Daily Di Beshbahas An Atlahandat Leho. A ba here needs and do Kodon Hinat Ani do ba here needs no additional Kodo Ashishin Dado Nish Danikido Nenigi. Here na Jo hot an Yada how Oyohash cage Nihich Yada Tio Nikido Kodo Nat Ani Nit Linigido. A hot bans de kesto o head and he nido lecho ado kitchen dash neshodo ado a joan dash nestan he don't need gidi kodo person he kunanal nagi a Washington ishin bin nachiko al ka nature do le do hisn de nesto le here la a hot han he kunde dash egi shik eroshna hada inol nido di de kosinskagi and di ku nal ni hoda ada da hosnyado din a shi kodo na the kitchen he besh bahasan be the halon do les ishi jo kodo hanet hije kona de le do les kodo shin shina Vice President Myron Lizer bahosh ato les khela.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, Yat, honorable members of the 24th Navajo Nation Council. It's good to be with you, Speaker Damon, Chief Justice Joanne Jane, as well as all the chapter, county, and state, and federal people that are watching, our Dene citizens all across Dene Tra. On behalf of the Nez Lizer administration, I am pleased to give my rendition of the second half of our report. So, yeah, appreciate it. I am the Vice President, Comanche Nishle, Trohana Bashes Chin, Do Comanche Deshache, Klasha Deshanelli. It's good to be with you again. And as our president said, we do honor the family and the of Nelson Espiguet, our brother who recently passed away and went into the spirit world. We do miss him, and he's also my former neighbor. As I became vice president, moved away from being his next door neighbor. But our condolences go out to Linda and Kurt and Shelby there with the family. Our prayers are with you all. And we'll continue to pray for you as this mourning takes place, and pray to our Creator for strength and mercy and favor on your family as you get through this. So our prayers are with you. So we appreciate it. And also just acknowledgement, President Naya, we do call him our brother, and he's many of our brothers, but his fire insurance has paid off. He is with our Creator now. And so those of you who understand that, we this is a great time. In fact, Ecclesiastes 7, it is the day of death is better than the day of birth. And it just takes a little bit of wisdom to understand that. But thank you that he is with our Creator. And so appreciate you all. God bless you. And picking up on the second half of this, we have been working as feverishly hard with our cabinet members, our team here, Nez Lizer team, and working with you all too, the 24th Navajo Nation Council on projects. Now, first there was CARES Act, then there's ARPA now, and then we're going to be talking about how that money is going to get disseminated through the nation, how much money, and it's a great time to be the Navajo Nation, and in Indian country, the largest funding package ever in the history of the United States of America. And so favor is definitely on us as a people and on our land. And what can we use it for? I want to commend President Jonathan Nez, our leader here, our esteemed leader, his great advocacy at this level. And we have used, both of us have used the administrations that are in power in different times. Within our Nez Lizer administration in the last 2 years, we've seen a change of leadership. And we use the tools and we use the favor at our disposal and for the benefit of the Navajo Nation. And so we appreciate President Nez's leadership as well. We do and have been working on road improvements all throughout your chapters. And I know you advocate for more roads to be touched. As you know, that's one of our great needs, is to have our roads fixed here on the Navajo Nation. And what with the Biden-Harris infrastructure package that's being contemplated right now by Congress, what a a great need we have to advocate at the highest levels. We utilize our Navajo Nation Washington office to help us push forth our white paper, which talks about the needs of the Navajo Nation, and that highlights all of the constraints and the bottlenecks that we have seen over the decades. And we wish to use this favor to help them advocate for us to change policy, to relinquish the bottlenecks that are there that we've been experiencing. But it's our Dene Atin Baha Navajo Road Emergence White Paper. And so we appreciate all those many that have laid their hands on this work, starting from our Washington office, but also Garrett Silversmith, our Division Director for Navajo Department of Transportation, and on and on. There's going to be a lot of enhancement and improvements that you, all 24 Navajo Council delegates, and the Office of the President, Vice President, and our Department of Justice will be working on. So we need you, and we need the help and the assistance of our Creator God. And we'll pray for wisdom in which that is going to enhance the quality of life here on Navajo. We have our Hasling and Manufacturing Initiative there slated to be unveiled there in Tuba City, and another one planned for Eastern Agency. But we have a great need, as you know, to bring housing and homes to our elders, namely to our veterans first. That was where the whole mechanism took place and how it was unveiled. And so we need you to help us bring that to fruition. Many homes. It was said to me once that we need 10,000 homes, and we needed them yesterday. So a great need for homes. So we appreciate your continued leadership in that there, Mr. Speaker, and 24 Navajo Nation Council delegates. We are working on many renewable energy projects here on the Navajo Nation. With support of the Resources and Development Committee and NTUA, we recently finalized the leases for the Red Mesa Tapahan solar generation plant and the Cameron solar generation plant, which will produce 70 megawatts and 200 megawatts respectively of emissions-free solar energy once construction is completed. As you know, 2 years ago when we signed the Hayotkat Proclamation to pursue and prioritize clean and renewable energy development for the long term and benefit of the Navajo people, we are continuing to work very diligently and very hard as we go forward to bring those projects to fruition. We've also been working feverishly on our broadband development. As you know, this pandemic has really showed us and magnified the problems and the issues that we have here on the Navajo Nation, so broad and expansive. Many of the farthest reaches of our Navajo Nation, our citizens, and in this pandemic, telehealth and also education needs are very apparent, and we need to work together to bring enhancement to broadband and to internet capability to all reaches of the Navajo Nation. If there ever was a time that we needed this, it is now. And so we commend our chapters on their accomplishment and all of their initiatives. Recently, the $54 million that was approved by our council and signed by President to bring heavy equipment. And so our president has been out there receiving the equipment, the new inventory for these chapters. And so I know they are blessed, and we appreciate the leadership of Dr. Pearl Yellowman and how this has been rolling out. And so one by one, new vehicles, new flatbeds, heavy equipment, fifth wheel trailers, and heavy equipment like bulldozers and graders and such is going to help the chapters maintain the roads for their citizens and maintain a quality of life that never before were they able to access. And so we appreciate it. As we're looking forward now, we want to appreciate our president again, his leadership in working with the new favor from the administration and the White House for the benefit of the Navajo Nation. But I believe God's favor is on their nation right now. It took a pandemic, right? And all the eyes of the globe now are on the Navajo Nation, and steering the narrative and pushing them and pulling focus onto the health, the education, and everything that we need to see that needs to advance for our great Navajo Nation is right before us. And so as we're looking forward, we look to comment and to change the Bears Ears National Monument focus, expanding it back to the 1.9 million acres that was first there. The RECA amendments, those bring added benefit and focus on all of the plight of the uranium and the abandoned mine sites that are on the Navajo Nation, bringing power to those areas that never had power. And so we appreciate it. So I believe my time is up. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I'm just going to give President a time to just say a closing remark. God bless you.
Well, again, we appreciate the work that we're all doing on behalf of the Navajo citizens, Mr. Speaker, members of the 24th Navajo Nation Council. I too want to hold up the nation in their efforts to push back on this pandemic, because it's really the Navajo people who have done a enormous job, an outstanding job in following these protocols. So thank you, Speaker. That will end our address.